On New Year's Eve, Alex was immersed in the glowing screen of his laptop, his fingers dancing across the keyboard. Caleb, having just returned with groceries, stood over his shoulder, watching him navigate the pixelated world of Star Drop Valley. Caleb suggested with a grin that Alex should try to arrange the star drops into a heart shape. Alex chuckled, questioning how he would even manage that. In response, Caleb took over the mouse, his movements surprisingly deft, and manipulated the falling stars into a fleeting heart that lasted only a second before dissolving. Alex, quick on the trigger, captured the screen, saving the ephemeral moment. A knock at the door echoed through the small apartment. Caleb's face lit up as he called out that they were coming. Alex, however, remained at his desk, carefully saving the screenshot to a secure folder. On the screen, the rustic wooden background of the game's Pirates Cove level framed the image. His character, Milk Boy. On the left, Caleb's character, Chocoboy. On the right, with the shimmering heart of star drops suspended between them. He thought about transferring it to his own computer, maybe setting it as his desktop background. A girl's voice, bright and energetic, cut through his thoughts, remarking on the coziness of their place. She exclaimed over the fact that they must have been living in their own little world all winter break and marveled at the presence of a washing machine in the unit. She playfully teased Caleb, observing that for someone who was usually so frugal, he was living quite lavishly. Caleb quickly intercepted her train of thought, asking where William was. The girl explained that William had to go home unexpectedly, managing to get a last-minute ticket. She suggested they just go ahead and eat, then turned her attention to Alex, who was still in his pajamas. She found it hilarious that a grown man was wearing pajamas, especially ones with a monkey pattern and little bananas. Alex felt a headache coming on. He knew this girl was going to be a handful, and any hope for a quiet evening was gone. Caleb called Alex over to make introductions, explaining that their other friend couldn't make it, so it would just be the two girls. "This is Alex," Caleb said, adding with a proud smile that he'd told them his brother was a lot of fun. Caleb then introduced the girls. The talkative one was Chloe, and the quieter one was Maya. Alex offered a small, polite smile and a greeting. The girls had brought a gift basket containing a bottle of red wine, some fruit, gourmet cookies, and a pack of cigarettes. Chloe was petite and bubbly, with a pink clip in her hair. Maya was placid and fair-skinned, barely speaking as they both settled onto the sofa, arms linked. After a few minutes of strained small talk, Alex, feeling overwhelmed by Chloe's vivacity, excused himself. He told them he needed to make some New Year's calls to his high school friends, effectively leaving Caleb to entertain their guests as he retreated to the bedroom. Out in the living room, Caleb pulled up a low stool and began prepping vegetables on the coffee table. He explained that his family always made fondue for special occasions and hoped he had prepared enough food. Chloe assured him they didn't eat much and then asked about Alex's cooking skills, wondering if Caleb usually did all the cooking at home. Caleb confirmed with a warm smile that he did. The three of them chatted while they worked. Maya's voice was soft and gentle as she commented on the warm atmosphere of their home. She offered to help with the vegetables and asked if groceries had been expensive because of the holiday. Caleb and Maya prepared the fondue ingredients, including fresh shrimp that were still twitching on the cutting board. They had to be skewered, a sight Chloe found unsettling, so she decided to join Alex in the bedroom. Alex was focused on his computer, pointedly ignoring her as he used Caleb's account to level up in the game. He treated her as if she were invisible. Chloe sat down on the edge of the bed and asked why they didn't go home for the holidays. Alex, without looking away from the screen, replied that it was because his left sock had a hole in it. Chloe was momentarily confused. Alex remained silent. Chloe then mentioned that she was staying to keep Maya company, as Maya didn't want to go home. She asked if he and Caleb had been together since they were kids. Alex affirmed that they had, more or less, and then inquired why Maya hadn't gone back. Chloe explained Maya's family situation. Her parents had divorced and remarried, and her grandmother, who she was close to, had passed away right before her final exams in high school. That's why she preferred to stay on campus for the holidays. Alex stared at the screen and muttered that his family was the same. His dad had also remarried. After a moment, Chloe let out a soft sound of understanding. Alex then turned the question on her, asking why she wasn't with her own family and if her parents were separated too. Chloe replied that they weren't. She was just staying for Maya, worried about her being alone and unsafe at the empty dorms. When Alex pressed about what her parents thought, she said she had already explained it to them. She could always see them during the summer, she reasoned, and asked if she could use their phone later to call home. Alex, thinking she was a pretty loyal friend, handed her his cell phone. Chloe told him she'd wait until midnight to call and then critiqued his gaming skills, remarking that he was terrible at Star Drop Valley. Alex retorted that he had only started playing over the winter break. Chloe proudly stated that she was the one who taught Caleb how to play, and that Maya was even better, a true master of the game who could take on 4 players at once. Alex privately thought they must all be gaming prodigies. Even the quiet, serene Maya was a formidable player. He imagined this group would be merciless in any competitive game. He wished she would stop watching his clumsy attempts to play, but he didn't feel right asking her to leave. After a moment of silence, Chloe started a new line of questioning, asking why he had been ignoring his brother. Alex insisted he wasn't. Caleb was the one who wanted to prepare the food, and he planned to help him later. But Chloe clarified she meant the previous month, in December, when he had suddenly gone cold on Caleb. Alex's response was the same as before. It was because his left sock had a hole in it. Having heard this bizarre answer twice, Chloe couldn't wrap her head around Alex's logic. She asked what a hole in his sock could possibly have to do with him ignoring his brother. Alex, still focused on the game, retorted by asking what his relationship with his brother had to do with her. Chloe sputtered, then insisted it had everything to do with her because Caleb had been miserable about it and had confided in her. Alex stopped playing, his brow furrowing as he finally turned to give her his full attention. He asked what Caleb had said. Suddenly nervous, Chloe stumbled over her words. She recounted how Caleb had lamented that his little brother didn't seem to need him anymore, wondering if Alex had started dating someone and forgotten about him. He had been completely down, with no appetite, just sighing all the time. Chloe had tried to convince him to go see Alex, suspecting he might have a girlfriend. They had planned to invite him out on Christmas Eve, but Alex didn't reply to texts or answer calls. Caleb had become so worried that he ended up just running off to find him. She accused Alex of being cruel. Alex didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Chloe then asked if he had, in fact, been dating someone when he was ignoring Caleb. She chided him for being the type to ditch his family the moment he got into a relationship. Alex gave a sad smile and denied it. The truth was, he had gotten obsessed with a game and failed several of his classes. Chloe's eyes lit up at the mention of failing. She found it hard to believe, given how Caleb always praised him, calling him a genius. Alex, getting defensive, snapped that it was because he had a hole in his sock and asked if that was a good enough reason for her. Chloe fell silent. She started chattering again about something else, and Alex felt his head was about to explode. He finally offered her something to eat, asking if she wanted some chocolate. When she saw the box of imported liquor-filled chocolates, she exclaimed at their extravagance. She then noticed Alex wasn't eating the liquor-filled ones and asked if he was planning to just leave them. Alex explained that he didn't like them, but his brother would eat them. Chloe remarked that Caleb must be his personal garbage disposal. She had been wondering about the rent on their apartment, as Caleb never seemed to have much money and even worked as a tutor. Alex felt tears welling up and pleaded with her to just eat her chocolate without talking, worried she would spray crumbs everywhere. Chloe insisted she never did that, unlike one of her roommates. Alex sighed in resignation. When they returned to the living room, Chloe became noticeably quieter. Alex took the knife from Caleb, saying he knew a better way to prepare the fish fillets for the fondue. Caleb watched as Alex expertly sliced the fish, rolling each piece into a delicate, wave-like pattern before dropping it into a bowl of ice water, where it curled into a beautiful flower. Caleb exclaimed that the master chef had arrived. Maya echoed the sentiment with a soft laugh. Alex smiled and said his dad had taught him. He also pointed out that they shouldn't pierce the shrimp heads with the skewers, as it would make them easier to peel later. As night fell, the sounds of distant fireworks began to punctuate the city's hum, a common occurrence on New Year's Eve despite local ordinances. The electric fondue pot bubbled merrily, its steam rising in the warm living room. The four of them sat on the floor around the coffee table, eating and watching the New Year's Eve broadcast from Times Square. The show was getting more and more absurd each year. Alex commented that there was no worst, only worse. Chloe agreed, reminiscing that she used to enjoy it as a child, but now found it terrible, with this year's being the absolute pits. Alex added that next year's show would inevitably be worse than this year's. Then, when a famous diva appeared on screen to sing, they all stared for a second before bursting into laughter. Caleb, who had been drinking some of the red wine, was flushed and smiling. He gestured toward Alex, confirming to the girls that his brother was just as funny as he'd said. Alex peeled shrimp for Caleb while trading jokes with the girls and critiquing the television special. His offbeat sense of humor found laughter in the most mundane things, keeping the group entertained all night. Around 11, after the main performances were over, the sound of fireworks outside grew louder. Caleb started clearing the table to wash the dishes. Chloe went into the bedroom to make her phone call, while Alex stared blankly at his own phone. Maya asked if he was thinking about calling his family. Alex nodded and asked if she had already called hers. He thought about his father, celebrating with his new wife and her family. Maya smiled gently and said she had called before coming over. She encouraged him to call, certain that his father would love to hear his voice. Alex was silent for a moment, suddenly struck by Maya's quiet strength. He wondered how she had navigated her life all these years. Despite her reserved nature, she had a certain grace and a way of speaking that was more thoughtful and considerate than Chloe's. She was remarkably empathetic. He found himself asking if she liked his brother, adding that she didn't have to answer if she didn't want to. Maya simply smiled without saying a word. Alex sighed and typed out a text message. "Dad, Happy New Year." After a moment's hesitation, he deleted it. He then scrolled to a number and, taking a deep breath, pressed the call button. But the name that appeared on the screen wasn't Dad. Confused, he thought he had dialed the wrong number and opened his contacts to check. Caleb, who was washing apples in the kitchen, called out that his uncle's number had changed and he had already updated it in Alex's phone. Alex's heart pounded in his chest. He put the phone down and announced he was going downstairs to buy a pack of cigarettes. Caleb immediately offered to go instead, telling him not to smoke, questioning what good it did. Chloe, emerging from the bedroom, chimed in, lecturing him about the health risks and the impoliteness of smoking around non-smokers. Alex stood by the door, but Caleb blocked his way, one hand braced against the doorframe, looking at him intently. Alex looked up at Caleb, and for a fleeting moment, he was reminded of the first time they met as children, with Caleb peering over a fence at him like a curious monkey. Caleb's expression softened into a smile. Chloe asked what was with all the meaningful glances. Defeated, Alex returned to the sofa and stared blankly at the television, waiting for the countdown. Caleb sat down next to him. Feeling drowsy, Alex leaned against him, letting Caleb's arm wrap around him as he stretched out on the sofa. Alex waved his hand vaguely towards the fruit bowl, just out of reach, and playfully called out to Chloe, asking the little hen to pass him a banana. Chloe, after a moment of confusion, realized he was talking to her and squawked in protest, telling him not to give her silly nicknames. The others erupted in laughter. Maya handed Alex a banana, smiling as she remarked that Caleb was right. The two of them were adorable together, a perfect match. Alex took a bite of the banana, found it wasn't sweet, and passed it up to Caleb, who ate the rest without a word. He then tried an orange, found it too sour, and gave that to Caleb as well. Chloe asked why he was so picky about his food. Alex replied lazily that it was because his left sock had a hole in it. Caleb and Maya, unfamiliar with his running gag, laughed heartily after he explained it. Maya commented on how nice it must be to have a brother, something she had always wanted. She then turned to Chloe, reminding her about something she had wanted to ask. Chloe's face flushed slightly. Alex's mind raced. Was she about to confess her feelings for him? He had a feeling Maya didn't actually like Caleb. It was Chloe who seemed to have a crush. And as for Chloe's feelings toward him, he wasn't so sure. Caleb also looked uncomfortable, asking what was going on. He suggested they save serious topics for another time, saying he needed to discuss it with Alex first. Chloe stammered for a moment, and Alex braced himself for a confession. But then Maya clarified with a smile, telling Caleb that Chloe wanted him to be her honorary big brother. She reminded him of his earlier concern about making Alex jealous. Alex and Caleb both let out a silent sigh of relief. Alex chuckled, saying it was fine with him. He didn't mind at all. He knew that titles like honorary brother or honorary sister didn't mean much. Caleb would look out for her a bit, but it was just a playful thing. Caleb had never even mentioned the girls to him before, which meant he wasn't seriously invested. Alex understood that when someone truly likes another person, they can't help but talk about them. He knew he held a significant place in Caleb's heart because Caleb was always unconsciously bringing him up in conversations with others, just as Chloe had described. Chloe beamed and declared that Caleb was now her big brother. Alex quickly added that since he was Caleb's brother, that made him her older brother too. He then jokingly listed off her new duties: buying their meals, their drinks, their game CRS, and their online avatars. He called her sis and said it was all on her now. Chloe's face fell into a comically tragic expression, not yet realizing that this new title closed the door to any other kind of relationship. As the countdown to midnight began, the host on television wished the nation a prosperous and peaceful new year. The four of them paused their banter and joined in the countdown. The old year ended and spring arrived. "Happy New Year," they all shouted. Caleb grinned and went into the bedroom, returning with 3 small red envelopes. He handed one to each of them. Chloe shrieked with delight at receiving a gift. Maya thanked him with a warm smile. Alex felt a surge of happiness, watching Caleb play the role of the family patriarch. He opened his envelope and let out a whoop. Inside were 2 $30 gift cards for Star Drop Valley. Now he could buy the rainbow bubbles and turtle shell power-ups. It was the coolest gift ever. He wished Caleb a prosperous new year. Caleb smiled and turned back to the TV. After the final segment of the show, the girls prepared to head back to their dorm. Caleb insisted it was too late and unsafe for them to walk back. He offered them the bed, saying he would clean it up for them and they could all go to the winter market the next day. Alex went to prepare the bed for them, then came back out with a spare blanket and made a pallet for himself on the floor. Caleb sat nearby, smoking a cigarette and watching him. Alex held his phone, hesitating for a long time before finally dialing his father's number. The phone rang and rang, but no one answered. Alex glanced at the clock. It was only 12:30. Surely he wasn't asleep already. A woman's voice answered, "Happy New Year." It was Susan, his father's wife. Alex immediately wanted to hang up. He asked where his father was and wished her a Happy New Year. Susan replied that he was in the shower. She then asked if Alex had a girlfriend, mentioning that Caleb had said he was seeing someone and wondering if everything was going well. Alex flatly stated that he wasn't dating anyone, and that it was because his left sock had a hole in it. Susan paused, confused, asking what the connection was. Alex retorted, asking what his dating life had to do with her. He told her to let his father know he had called when he got out of the shower, and that was all. He wished him a Happy New Year. Caleb frowned slightly, his expression serious, like a thoughtful ape. Alex announced he was going to take a shower and went into the bedroom to get his clothes. Maya and Chloe, tucked under the covers and chatting, were startled by his sudden entrance and then broke into giggles. He apologized for not knocking, backed out, knocked twice, and they started laughing again. Alex felt a complicated mix of emotions and wasn't in the mood for jokes. He quietly gathered his and Caleb's underwear. Maya asked with a smile if they usually shared a blanket, commenting on how close they were. Alex confirmed they did but clarified they didn't mix up their underwear. He explained that he'd always been prone to feeling cold, and his brother was warm, so it was practical for them to sleep together. Chloe then asked if he ever kissed Caleb, demonstrating by planting a loud kiss on Maya's cheek. Maya laughed and told her to stop fooling around. Alex said that Caleb hated that kind of thing, calling him sentimental. He bid them good night, telling them to help themselves to snacks and the computer, and assured them he wouldn't come back in. When Alex came out, Caleb was on the phone. It was his father calling back. Caleb was saying that they were planning to go for a walk on New Year's Day with his friends. He looked up at Alex and offered him the phone, but Alex shook his head and went to the bathroom. Caleb continued the conversation, agreeing that they would go to the mountains, away from the crowds. He asked about the situation in San Francisco, his voice laced with concern. He listened intently, questioning if it was true. He seemed to think it was just a rumor, but asked if they should come back home. He ended the call by promising they would be careful. After they had both showered, they moved the coffee table and sat on the makeshift bed on the floor, taking turns blow-drying each other's hair. First Alex dried Caleb's, then Caleb dried his. Then they turned off the lights and lay down to sleep. Caleb asked if Alex could get in touch with his friend, Keith. He mentioned that his uncle had also heard about some kind of flu. He wanted Alex to ask Keith if there was any news about it in New York, to get a better sense of the situation. Alex promised he would contact him the next day. He snuggled closer to Caleb in the darkness and drifted off to sleep. On February 2nd, all the Boston newspapers ran articles about preventing a highly contagious seasonal flu. Alex read them carefully and concluded it was likely just a severe flu. His father hadn't said much either, only them to avoid crowded places. Caleb asked if they should get flu shots. The look of sheer panic on Alex's face was enough for him to drop the subject. A few days later, Alex finally got in touch with Keith, who reported that there were stories in New York about an unknown virus in San Francisco. Alex sent him links to the Boston News headlines and asked where he was. Keith replied via instant message that he was in Ohio with his mom and grandmother for the holidays. He urged Alex to be careful and even invited him to come stay with them, suggesting that being by the lake might be safer. Alex joked that he had been playing too many zombie apocalypse games. It was just the flu. Keith shot back, asking if he wanted to play an online game. Alex declined, explaining that he had to study for retakes since he had failed 5 courses. Keith was shocked at how many he had failed. Before Alex could type another word, Keith's icon went gray. He had likely gone to help his grandmother. Alex resigned himself to a monotonous cycle of studying and playing Star Drop Valley. On February 8th, Caleb came back early from his tutoring session. He told Alex that the supermarkets were packed with people panic buying supplies. Alex, deep into his calculus textbook, was glad he hadn't been slacking off when Caleb's student canceled. He hadn't left the apartment in days and asked what was going on. Caleb went to the window to look, just as the phone rang. Alex answered it. It was Chloe on the other end. She frantically asked for Caleb. Alex said it was him and told her to calm down. Chloe, her voice thick with tears, asked if he knew about the sickness. She cried that people were saying it was incurable, that once you were infected you would cough up blood and die within days. Alex was speechless. He handed the phone to Caleb and heard Chloe sobbing on the other end that she wanted to go home. Alex got up and looked out the window. Down below, people were walking around wearing face masks. Caleb told Chloe not to be afraid and instructed her to pack her bags. He would take her and Maya to the train station. He told them to go home together. Alex changed his clothes, intending to go with Caleb, but Caleb told him to stay home. He would take the girls to the station himself. Alex argued that if Caleb got infected and brought it back, They would both get sick anyway. He reasoned that if it was as serious as they said, no one could escape, so what was the point in worrying? Caleb reluctantly agreed, telling him to wear a mask and stay close. They took the subway to the university. The train car was filled with people, all wearing masks. Under the dim, flickering lights, the eyes of the strangers around them were tense and wary. Alex felt a knot of fear tighten in his stomach. The air itself felt heavy with dread. They helped Chloe and Maya with their luggage and got them to the train station, which was a chaotic swarm of people. It was the peak of reverse holiday travel, and many faces in the crowd were etched with worry as they pushed toward the platform gates. Chloe, her voice muffled by her mask, asked if they weren't leaving too. Alex replied that his home was in Massachusetts, so where would he go? Maya voiced her hope that it wasn't real, mentioning the flood of worried text messages she had received. Caleb returned with the tickets, his voice a low hum as he urged them to hurry. The train was leaving in 20 minutes. Chloe told them to pray she made it back alive. Alex shot back that she should be the one praying to find him alive when she returned. The two girls disappeared into the station. Caleb and Alex stood near the edge of the plaza. Alex said he had a bad feeling about the situation. Just as Caleb was about to respond, the crowd around them suddenly surged backward like a receding tide, as if a bomb had gone off. Shouts erupted through the plaza. Someone was coughing up blood. Someone had died. Caleb and Alex were frozen in shock as people pushed and shoved, fleeing from an empty space that had opened up in the middle of the plaza. Those who didn't know what was happening screamed in terror. The scene descended into chaos. Caleb shielded Alex, stumbling backward as the crowd pressed in on them. The entire station plaza was in an uproar. Police in masks arrived, shouting for people to stop pushing and not to panic. The chaos intensified. Caleb suddenly scooped Alex up into his arms and ran, not stopping until they were far across the street. Alex yelled for him to be careful, pulling him back onto the sidewalk just as a car sped past. The rumors spread like wildfire. Someone had coughed up blood. It was the infectious disease. Alex asked a few people who had run from the plaza what had happened, if it was true. A few people who had calmed down were talking amongst themselves, describing in vivid detail how someone had collapsed outside the station entrance, convulsing on the ground. Alex wanted to go look for evidence, but Caleb grabbed him, his voice firm, insisting they go home immediately. Back at the apartment, Caleb went out again to buy more groceries. He returned and reported that the university hadn't said anything official, and no one was coming back to campus yet. Alex worried that even the grocery stores might close down. February 10th. Panic buying had started everywhere. The rumors could no longer be contained. Newspapers began reporting on hospital admissions. Officially, only a few dozen people were sick and most were receiving treatment. The state's Department of Public Health was holding emergency meetings and advising citizens to take precautions. The city started spraying disinfectant in the streets. Alex received dozens of texts from out-of-state friends asking about the epidemic in Boston. Keith texted again. They're saying it's a severe infectious disease called atypical respiratory syndrome. Get out of Boston now. Don't stay at the school. But Alex had retakes, and his home was here. Leaving was not an option. Caleb helped him register for the exams online. Everything was proceeding as scheduled, unaffected by the growing panic. Alex was confused. What was really happening? He hadn't seen anyone coughing up blood. There was just news, an endless flood of news that was enough to drive everyone into a state of constant anxiety. Caleb went to the university to pay the retake fees and came back with a thermometer. He said that Alex's academic advisor was back on campus and had told him the exams were still on, but he didn't know anything else. They were to wait for an official university announcement. The advisor had also told them to take their temperature daily, to try steaming vinegar for disinfection, and to take some herbal remedies. If they developed a fever, they were to go to the hospital immediately. Alex and Caleb went downstairs to buy vinegar. Caleb insisted that Alex stay behind, that he could go by himself, saying he was worried for his safety. Alex retorted angrily that every time Caleb went out, he was sick with worry, unable to concentrate on his studies. He asked what he would do if Caleb died. Caleb was quiet for a moment, then relented. They locked the door and went out together. The small grocery store downstairs was closed. They had to go into the city to a Walmart, which was packed with frantic shoppers. The panic had spread throughout the city. Alex saw two people physically fighting over the last 2 bottles of vinegar. Alex and Caleb, both wearing masks, stood to the side, watching the scene with a sense of bewilderment. Alex asked if balsamic vinegar would work. Caleb, his voice muffled, said he didn't know, but it smelled better than white vinegar, so they might as well try it. Alex quietly told Caleb that he wasn't really afraid of the world ending, not as long as he was with him. Caleb replied that he wasn't scared either, but it was always good to live a little longer. Besides, Alex still had his retakes. Alex snapped that this was hardly the time to be talking about exams. Caleb's eyes crinkled into a smile behind his mask. While everyone around them scrambled for rice and cooking oil, the two of them calmly pushed their cart down the aisles. Alex pointed out a brand of instant noodles he liked. Caleb nonchalantly tossed a large pile of them into the cart. Alex reminded him that things still cost money. Caleb's eyes crinkled again, and he shook his head with a playful expression. After they finished shopping, they even stopped to share an ice cream cone outside the apartment building before slowly heading back upstairs. Once inside, the first thing Alex did was unwrap a new bar of soap and take a long shower. Caleb went around the apartment spraying disinfectant everywhere. After they were both clean, Alex started boiling the balsamic vinegar in their new electric kettle. Their apartment was the only one on the block filled with the rich, pungent smell of aging vinegar instead of the sharp scent of white vinegar. Years later, Alex would remember this moment with a mix of exasperation and fondness. Caleb stood by, instructing him to add some of the herbal remedy packets to the pot. They dutifully put the lid on, as if performing a sacred ritual. February 11th. Caleb was looking at a bookmarked webpage on his computer. After a moment of silence, he called out to Alex. When Alex responded, Caleb told him that the internet was reporting a confirmed case of atypical respiratory syndrome in San Francisco and over 100 cases in Boston. Alex asked if they had all died. Caleb said the report didn't say, only that the symptoms were coughing, fever, and coughing up blood, which could lead to death in severe cases. Alex asked how many people had died in total. Caleb admitted the reports were vague. After a long pause, Alex asked when his father's wife was due to have her baby. Caleb recalled his uncle mentioning that the due date was in March. Alex wondered aloud if hospitals were high-risk areas for infection. Caleb didn't answer right away. Then, he said that his friend Jake had told him a patient had died, and all the doctors who treated him got infected. It was at the city hospital right across from Jake's apartment complex. Now, everyone in his neighborhood had fled. Jake and his wife were at a bus station, waiting to go to her parents' place. Alex asked if the doctors had really been infected. Caleb's voice trembled slightly as he said he would keep checking for more information, telling Alex not to panic. He admitted he didn't know who to believe anymore. Alex stood by the window for a long time. The neighborhood outside was empty. The spring sunlight was warm and bright. He held his phone, motionless, for what felt like 10 or 20 minutes. He didn't notice when Caleb came up behind him, wrapping his left arm around his waist. With his right hand, Caleb gently took the phone from Alex, dialed a number, and held it to Alex's ear. David Zhao's cell phone was off. Alex asked if Caleb had his home number. Caleb, still holding Alex from behind with his head resting on his shoulder, scrolled through his contacts and pointed to the number. Alex took the phone, turned around, and leaned against Caleb, burying his face in his shoulder as he dialed. Susan answered. Alex asked if his dad was there. Susan, recognizing his voice, said she didn't know where he was. He had gone out for a walk that morning and hadn't come back yet. His phone was at home, charging but turned off. Alex hung up and dialed another number, one saved in his phone under a single word: home. Caleb's eyebrows twitched. The call connected. David Zhao's voice came through, warm and familiar. "Sweetheart, are you still mad at your old man?" Alex was silent for a long moment. "Sweetheart, say something," his father prompted. Alex finally spoke, his voice low, asking how he knew it was him. The house was empty, and his cell phone was off. His father explained that was precisely how he knew. He knew his son would know he was home, and he knew that the only person who would be calling the landline right now would be him. He asked how things were over there. Alex said he had been infected. There was a long silence on the other end. Then, his father's voice, firm and urgent, asked which hospital he was in, saying he was coming over right now. Alex didn't respond. His father's tone softened. "Your voice isn't hoarse. You're trying to scare me again, aren't you?" Alex let out a small laugh. Caleb spoke up, telling his uncle that they were both fine, for now. David Zhao sighed in relief. He told them not to come back to San Francisco, that the situation was reportedly very serious. He asked if they had seen the press conference. It was atypical respiratory syndrome transmitted through the air. Leaning against Caleb, Alex asked his father what he was doing all alone in that big empty house. David Zhao chuckled. "Who said I'm alone? Your mother is right here at home." He told Alex to come back and be with his mother. Alex clarified that his mother had already moved in with him in Boston. His father was quiet for a moment, then said he had come back to look at pictures of her and Alex. He couldn't take those with him to his new life. He asked that when Alex came home, he not take them all, to leave a few for his dad. He asked about his studies and mentioned that Caleb had said he had a girlfriend. Alex denied it, explaining he had just made a new sister and had failed a few classes he was now studying for. His father commented that he must have been playing too many games, that he couldn't be trusted without supervision. Alex insisted he would pass the retakes. They fell into another long silence. Finally, Alex spoke, telling his father not to go to the hospital when his wife gave birth, that it was too dangerous. His father didn't respond. Alex sighed and said to forget he said anything, that his father should use his own judgment. He said he was hanging up. His father quickly added, "Text me every day. Promise." Alex agreed, then handed the phone to Caleb and wrapped his arms around his waist. Caleb's sweater was warm and comforting, and Alex wished he could crawl inside it and hide from the world. Caleb exchanged a few more words, promising they would be careful and stay indoors. After hanging up, he looked down at Alex with a deadpan expression and asked if he was done clinging. Alex, feeling a great weight lifted from his shoulders, flopped onto the sofa and stared at the ceiling. Caleb started peeling an apple for him. He told Alex that his uncle visited their old house frequently, every weekend, even when Alex wasn't there. Before winter break, he had personally cleaned the entire house and aired out all the bedding, just waiting for Alex to come home. He had also bought them both new phones. When Alex asked why he hadn't told him, Caleb explained that his uncle had asked him not to. He had said to let Alex be. If he didn't want to come home, he could stay in Boston and study. He had also worried that Alex wouldn't like the dorms and had suggested he rent an off-campus apartment if it was too noisy. After a long silence, Alex said they should go home now. Caleb immediately refused, stating that San Francisco was a major hotspot. Alex sighed that Boston was just as bad. Caleb tried to reassure him, saying the situation in Boston was supposedly under control. He handed him the apple and told him to eat it and get back to studying. Alex threw his hands up in exasperation, questioning how he could possibly be expected to study at a time like this. Caleb looked at him with an amused expression and asked if he had any regrets. So he should take care of them now. Alex thought about it. He had no regrets. He couldn't go back home, and his father needed to be with his pregnant wife. Going back would only create a tearful, dramatic scene. As long as he was with Caleb, he wouldn't even regret dying. He told Caleb he had no regrets. Caleb's response was simple. Then go do what you're supposed to be doing. Go study calculus. The retake exams began after the Lantern Festival. The lecture hall was less than half full. Alex completed all the questions he knew and for the ones he didn't. He simply copied the question onto the answer line to make it look like he had written something before turning it in. He went through all 5 of his retakes, with Caleb waiting for him each day. Bundled up in a thick coat zipped up to his chin, his eyes peering out as he supervised Alex's exams. They no longer dared to eat out, and the campus cafeterias were nearly empty. Alex went to his department to ask his advisor about the start of the semester. A janitor was spraying disinfectant everywhere. The advisor told him not to go back to San Francisco under any circumstances, as it was another hotspot. Traveling would only increase his risk of infection. He was to stay in his dorm and wait for news. In a way, not having classes suited Alex just fine. He hoped no one would die in the pandemic, but he also wouldn't have minded if the state of anarchy continued a little longer. So he could just stay home and hang out with Caleb every day. A few days later, he received a call on the landline in their rented room. A girl's voice asked for Alan. Alex, who answered, explained that Alan wasn't coming back and they hadn't been in touch. He asked if she was his girlfriend, adding that he still owed them rent. The girl sounded worried, saying the rent wasn't important right now. She asked if they were his friends or just subtenants. Alex explained the situation, and she asked if Alan had mentioned where he was going for his internship. Alex called out to Caleb, but Caleb couldn't remember what their former roommate had said. After racking his brain, Alex guessed it was either Conway or Converse, he couldn't be sure. He suggested she try calling the corporate headquarters of those companies. The girl thanked him and asked if Alan had said anything else. Alex thought for a moment and recalled that Alan had mentioned they had broken up and he was very sad about it, that he didn't want to be apart from her. Alex ended up talking with her for a long time, trying to console her as she lamented her situation. They exchanged names and numbers, and she told him that if he ever wanted to visit Chicago, he should call her and she would show him around. Alex promised he would and wished her happiness. After hanging up, he promptly forgot about the whole conversation. Days bled into nights and back into days until, at the end of February, an unprecedented wave of panic swept through Boston. Alex had decided to go back to his dorm to pack up all his belongings and move them to the rental, and to pick up his textbooks for the next semester. Students were milling about, asking each other what was happening, all looking lost and confused. Alex and Caleb stood outside the dormitory, watching the scene. An older student recognized Alex and asked if the situation in Boston was really that bad. Alex, with his hands in his pockets and Caleb pulling him a step away from her, admitted that he had heard over 100 people were sick. The student then asked if he had a spare mask, offering to buy one from him, lamenting how expensive everything had become. Alex said he had one and offered it to her for free. She thanked him profusely and tried to shove a $10 bill into his hand. Alex refused to take it, and he and Caleb stared at her with wide, cautious eyes, like two wary children. The student sighed, exasperated. They carefully made their way back to the dorm room, sticking close to the hallway walls. The air was thick with the stinging, acrid smell of disinfectant. A nerdy-looking dorm mate, Specs, was looking through one of Alex's art books. He pushed his glasses up his nose and looked up, completely bewildered. With a mask dangling from one ear, he asked what on earth was going on. Alex asked if he hadn't been watching the news. Specs explained that he had spent the entire winter break in his rural hometown and had come back to this chaos. Alex deadpanned that the world was ending, that the T-virus had been released. He told Specs to go home quickly and spend some time with his family. Specs immediately began to tremble. Caleb shot Alex a look and then smiled reassuringly at Specs, telling him not to listen to Alex. He advised him to just buy a train ticket home and wait for the university to announce when classes would resume. Specs immediately started packing. Alex and Caleb carried their bedding and books back to the rental. The subway was packed with students fleeing the city. Some universities had ordered students to stay in their dorms, but most were ignoring the directive and heading home. No one spoke. Most wore masks. Those who didn't covered their mouths and noses with their hands. The dark, dense crowd was eerily silent, like a horde of zombies waiting for a train to oblivion. Caleb refused to go back to the university after that. Their days fell into a quiet routine. Phone calls, reading, talking, playing games for a while, and long stretches of silence where they each did their own thing, occasionally looking up from their books to glance at each other. Sometimes Caleb would call out Alex from the living room, and Alex would answer yeah. They would repeat this meaningless exchange, sometimes with Alex calling Caleb and Caleb responding with a hum, just to confirm that the other was still there, alive in the same home. It was a source of immense comfort. Alex finally became skilled enough at Star Drop Valley to dominate Chloe and Maya from afar, ascending to the top of their small gaming world. Caleb told him to stop pacing around. Alex lamented that he had been cheated. Before his retakes, he had been wishing for a fire at the records office that would destroy everyone's grades. Caleb pointed out that he had passed everything anyway. Indeed, all of Alex's failed subjects had been passed. It seemed that anyone who had risked their life to show up for the retakes was given a passing grade. 2 of his scores were exactly 61, a clear sign of the professor's mercy, and he had gotten a 90 in calculus. Alex went to open the window and noticed that many of the windows in the complex were covered with screens. Outside, the spring day was bright and beautiful. His phone rang. Caleb answered it and, after a few moments, said, "Congratulations." Alex looked at him, puzzled. Caleb smiled and announced that the Zhao family had a new addition. Alex let out a long breath and nodded. He took the phone and said, "Dad." His father's voice came through, telling his sweetheart not to go outside and to listen to his brother. Alex agreed and hung up. As time went on, the university officially closed its campus. Students who were already back were not allowed to leave, and those who were at home were told not to return. The news was flooded with stories about the infectious disease, until the World Health Organization officially intervened and named the virus ARS. Major outbreaks were reported in New York, San Francisco, and Boston, with cases increasing by over 100 per day. In April, the Secretary of Health and Human Services resigned. A new appointee stepped in to calm the public, and only then did Alex see the true numbers. New York City was averaging over 100 new cases daily. Caleb never went to buy food without Alex. They would venture out bundled up like characters from a Chekhov story, buy a pile of groceries, and return home. Sometimes, Alex would fly a kite in the deserted park, with Caleb smiling and holding the string. They wouldn't speak until someone else appeared, at which point they would quickly pack up the kite and go home. Alex told Caleb that he always felt like he would be a survivor. Even in a global apocalypse, he believed he wouldn't be one of the ones to die. Caleb nodded seriously and agreed, saying Alex had good fortune, so by sticking with him, he would survive too. Alex reached out and pinched his ear. Caleb smiled and went back to his book. In April, the situation in Massachusetts finally came under control. Universities gradually reopened, taking attendance and distributing pamphlets on disease prevention. Many students still didn't return, treating it as an extended vacation. Caleb and Alex had lived in the rental for 4 months without anyone asking for rent. Their former roommate never called. They had no idea why, but it felt like finding free money. They packed up their things and moved back to the dorm. Caleb later found out that their former roommate had been immediately quarantined upon returning for his internship in 2003. With no one else to contact, it was a stroke of luck that Alex had remembered the name of the internship company. The roommate's girlfriend, determined and brave, flew from Chicago to Boston and waited outside the hospital until he was released, fully recovered. He never asked them for the back rent. For the second semester of their first year, the curriculum for all subjects was adjusted. Alex passed his classes with ease, and Caleb even received a scholarship. After their last final, Alex leaped out of the classroom and playfully tackled Caleb, complaining that he had studied for nothing. The exams had been so easy. Caleb explained that all the exams were easy that year. Rumor had it that as long as you showed up for class and took the test, you were almost guaranteed to pass. It was the height of summer. Half of the newly planted trees on campus had died, while the survivors flourished. Workers were digging up the dead trees and planting new ones. Caleb and Alex, dressed in t-shirts, linen shirts, boat shoes, and knee-length shorts, strolled leisurely down a campus path. Caleb asked how they should spend the summer. The question of vacation plans always gave Alex a slight headache. He suggested they go visit his dad and spend some time with him. The entire state was still under the shadow of the ARS scare. The streets were sparsely populated, and the subway cars were nearly empty. Back in their hometown, the streets were deserted, and it was clear that business was slow. David Zhao took them out for a meal. Alex had grown accustomed to viewing the situation with a sense of detachment. He didn't bring up his father's new family, nor did he express any desire to meet his new half-brother. He simply pretended that Susan and her son didn't exist. His father suggested they could take a cross-country cycling trip, mentioning that it had been a lifelong dream of his that he never completed. Caleb smiled and gently vetoed the idea, explaining that it was too dangerous now, not like it used to be. David Zhao nodded. Alex was struck by the realization that, at some point, Caleb had taken over the role of managing his life. He was now comfortable enough to overrule his father's suggestions, something Alex had never heard him do before. Back at the house, Alex lay on the sofa and proposed a trip to the Rockies. They could fly there and spend a couple of weeks. Caleb dismissed the idea, citing a lack of money and safety concerns. He suggested they consider a trip to New England or the Pacific Northwest during the winter break, as it would be cheaper then. For the summer, he insisted, Alex should study ahead for the next semester to avoid failing any more classes, which would ruin their winter vacation. Alex countered that they could use Caleb's $5,000 scholarship to fund a trip to Oregon. Caleb replied that the scholarship money was for Alex's birthday present. Alex was incredulous, asking what kind of gift costs $5,000. Caleb joked that $5,000 might only be enough to buy a door, or maybe not even that. Alex was completely baffled. What did he mean $5,000 couldn't buy a door? Was Caleb planning to buy a house on Cape Cod? That seemed absurd. They spent half the summer at home, then returned to the dorms in August. During the day, Alex would go to the air-conditioned library to read or use his laptop. Caleb tutored for half the day, sometimes in the morning, sometimes in the afternoon, or all day if he was busy. He would meet Alex for dinner afterward. Alex questioned why he was so obsessed with tutoring, as it wasn't like they were short on money for food. Caleb explained with a laugh that it was for the experience. He was making $40 an hour, $80 for a 2-hour session, which added up to over $2,000 a month. It was enough for both of them to live on without needing his uncle's money. He added that sometimes his students would give him $50 to skip a lesson without telling their parents, so he'd get paid for doing nothing. He even offered to get Alex a job tutoring English. Alex refused, calling him a fraud who was corrupting the youth. He scoffed at the idea of taking a $100 bribe to skip a lesson, declaring it a complete lack of professional ethics. Caleb laughed, saying not everyone was like Alex, who had to be practically paid to study. Caleb's dorm was now in the main university complex, just a 10-minute walk away, so they could see each other almost every day. Alex was finding the summer incredibly boring. Though he had read a lot and prepared for the upcoming semester, he hadn't gone anywhere. He often teased Caleb about his tutoring job. One day, Caleb, fed up, retorted, and they made a bet to see who could do better at a part-time job. Alex, who had been wanting to find a job anyway, took over a gig from another student. He found himself wearing a hat and an apron, working behind the counter of a small smoothie and juice shop just outside the university's athletic center. It was a tiny place. At the end of each shift, the manager would just count the number of used cups to calculate the day's sales. Alex, determined to crush Caleb, thoroughly researched how to run a successful beverage stand, even checking out books on the subject. He was going to show Caleb what he was made of and win his scholarship money to fund a 7-day trip to Oregon for winter break. first, the job was quiet. He made $40 a day. When there were no customers, he would practice making drinks, timing himself and constantly trying to beat his own records. The drinks that were too sour, too bitter, or too sweet, he would take back for Caleb to drink. After 3 days, he could make 6 different drinks simultaneously without looking, his movements as fluid as an assembly line. Gradually, his business started to boom. Of the several beverage stands in the area, his was the most popular, even busier than the legendary juice bar from his high school days. The location attracted athletes and students from the nearby arts and sciences colleges. The guys would buy water and sports drinks and occasionally juices. Alex's friendly demeanor set him apart from Caleb's handsome but more reserved charm. Alex's smile was clean and sunny. When guys came by, he would chat with them about the girls who came to buy smoothies. He noticed the furtive glances exchanged between customers and decided to play matchmaker. He kept a notepad under the counter and would take down the names and numbers of interested guys. When the girl they were interested in came by, he would make an introduction. For the girls, he would ask their preferences, adding extra toppings or a bit more milk or sugar as requested. He would give them nicknames in his head based on their appearance and style, and jot down their favorite orders on a piece of paper taped to the counter. When they returned, he would have their drink ready without even having to ask. Alex's good looks were a draw in themselves, but his unparalleled customer service made him a local legend. The couples he successfully matched would spread the word, bringing their friends, who would then bring their friends. Within 10 days, he had captured the entire local market. His shop was constantly mobbed. By the end of the summer, nearly every student who had stayed on campus knew him as Milk Boy. For every successful match, he would make a tally mark on the counter, silently hoping that fate would see his good deeds and grant him a love of his own. He didn't know most of his customers' names, but he greeted everyone with a smile. On a Saturday in late August, the day after the main wave of students returned to campus, he set an all-time sales record for a beverage stand at the university, a record that would stand for the next 3 years. Whenever Caleb mentioned Alex to anyone, he would proudly say, "He's my brother." Yes, that's him. He was incredibly proud. Alex even met a few older students who he suspected were gay. They spoke differently, with a certain knowing look in their eyes, and would ask him about himself, inquiring if he ever went out, but never offering to introduce him to a girlfriend. He figured they were likely interested in him. He always turned them down, using the excuse that his brother didn't let him go out. He only planned to work for 20 days, enough to save up $800 for Caleb's birthday present. It was important to him that it was money he had earned himself. The shop was right outside the athletic complex, so many of Caleb's friends would come by for free drinks after playing sports. When it was quiet, Alex would generously fill their cups. But soon, Caleb's friends started bringing their girlfriends, who brought their best friends, who brought their boyfriends, and so on. Finally, Alex snapped. He warned Caleb that if he brought any more people, he would serve them all tap water. He was serious. The manager had already noticed how quickly the purified water was being used up. And that was after Alex had secretly bought and installed 2 extra water jugs himself, the empty containers now hidden in his dorm room. Caleb was silent. Alex pressed him, asking if he understood. Caleb then asked if his friends hadn't paid for their drinks. Alex confirmed they hadn't, saying he assumed he shouldn't charge Caleb's friends. Caleb hadn't specified, so he thought it was an unspoken rule. Caleb was furious, exclaiming that even he paid for his own drinks. He couldn't believe his friends had been doing that. Alex was left speechless. On his last day of work, as he was waiting for Caleb to come so they could go out for a celebratory dinner, Chloe appeared at the counter. The streetlights cast a warm glow on the summer evening. Alex, in a bored tone, asked if she wanted her usual, a honey iced tea. Chloe's eyes were red and filled with tears. She told him she had a question for him, and she needed him to answer it honestly. Alex handed her a napkin and told her not to cry, asking if someone had bullied her. She ignored the napkin and asked him to just tell her the truth, promising she would leave after he answered. She wanted to know if he liked her. Alex, while preparing her tea, said bluntly, "No. I'm sorry." Chloe nodded, then asked who he did like. Could he tell her? Alex sealed the plastic cup, his elbow bumping the button on the machine, and replied that he couldn't, again apologizing. Chloe then asked if he liked Maya, telling him that Maya liked him, and if he felt the same, he should tell her. Alex said he didn't like Maya either. He told Chloe to pass on his apologies and said that they could still be good friends, that they were on the same side now. He handed her the honey iced tea. Chloe choked back a sob, a strange mix of sadness and relief on her face. As she turned to leave, Alex barked at her to take the drink. He had already made it. She shouldn't waste it. Chloe paused, then came back and took the cup. Alex managed a small smile and offered to set her up with someone, saying he knew her type. He handed her another napkin and told her not to cry. Alex's summer job ended. Chloe and Maya stopped seeking him out. He saw Chloe a few times on campus later, accompanied by a handsome guy around her height. Summer passed and a new semester began. The studying Alex had done over the break paid off. Engineering, drawing, and discrete mathematics were notorious for failing the most first-year students in their program, but Alex had already covered most of the material for discrete math. He and another dorm mate, Zeke, would head to their engineering drawing class with their T-squares, while their third roommate, Mason, had gotten a girlfriend from the freshman class and moved off campus. That left just the three of them in the suite. Specs was still living in the shadow of the ARS scare. A fourth roommate, Harry, was still perpetually broke and scheming for cash. Eventually, Caleb helped him get a tutoring gig, passing on students he couldn't take himself. As soon as Harry earned any money, he would spend it on all-night gaming sessions, and eventually, he moved in with a friend from his hometown. So, the suite was left with just Alex and Specs. In September, it was time for Alex to give Caleb his birthday present. He had researched available phone number prefixes and found several unused ones ending in 0913520. Numbers ending in 520 were hard to come by. He scoured the entire city, going from one specialty phone number dealer to another, asking for the specific combinations he had found. There were plenty ending in 0913, but he didn't want those. He settled for the next best thing, 913520, or Caleb's birthday in the lunar calendar, 0816520 or 816520. He remembered a recent graduate from his program whom he had met during his summer job. The guy worked for a major mobile carrier. Alex asked him to help search for the distribution of these number endings. If they weren't in Boston, he was willing to get one from within the state and add a statewide plan. He even considered taking a train out of state to buy the number, but he worried that the roaming charges would be too high and Caleb wouldn't use it, which would defeat the purpose. Miraculously, he found a number available in Boston ending in 7913520. He skipped a day of classes and, following the address the grad student had given him, spent $400 on the number. He returned in the afternoon, drenched in sweat but ecstatic. On Caleb's birthday, he treated him to McDonald's. He tricked Caleb into going to the counter to buy a sundae, then quickly slipped the SIM card into a pineapple pie, poking it in with a straw. When Caleb returned, he covered the pie in chocolate syrup and told him to eat it slowly, without biting, promising a surprise flavor. Caleb, holding the pie, almost swallowed the tiny card. He pulled it out of his mouth with a grimace, and Alex burst into laughter. That day, Caleb sent out a group text announcing his new number. Alex didn't know if Caleb understood the meaning behind the numbers, but Caleb was clearly happy, which made Alex happy. He kept their old matching couple numbers, tucking the SIM cards safely into his wallet as a memento. In November, as the weather cooled, Caleb started skipping classes too. He would occasionally skip his own university physics class to attend Alex's. Whenever they had the same subject, they would go to class together. But for specialized classes like numerical control, it wasn't possible. Alex had also signed up for a popular elective taught by a renowned professor, a rare opportunity offered only on the South Campus for one semester. The tiered lecture hall was always packed. If Alex arrived late, he would pull Caleb down to sit with him in the aisle, whispering explanations of the lecture content. Sometimes, Caleb's university hosted lectures on modern physics, philosophy, or natural sciences, and they would attend those together. After dinner, they would hang out in the student union at Caleb's university, looking for interesting events. If there was a concert, a club activity, a speech, or a debate, they would join in. If there was nothing going on, or if Caleb had to attend one of his mandatory political science classes, Alex would go with him and study in the same classroom. On Alex's birthday, Caleb didn't show up. Alex was in his digital circuits and logic design class, his head swimming. The professor's voice was a monotonous drone. The next semester would be an endless series of lab experiments, and Alex wondered what the point of studying any of it was. He thought he should have chosen philosophy instead. After all, he would probably just end up as some CEO's assistant after graduation anyway. After class, Alex texted Caleb, asking where he wanted to eat. He knew Caleb wouldn't have forgotten his birthday. Caleb's reply came quickly. "Bro, it took me forever to find this spot. Come quick. Outside the main gate, walk 100 yards east." Alex texted back, asking what he was up to. Caleb's response was urgent. "Hurry, hurry. I'm afraid I'll get towed." Alex ran out of the school gates, following Caleb's directions. He looked around but saw no one. He was about to text again when a new message from Caleb arrived. "Bro, happy birthday. Look up." Alex looked up. A short distance away, a car honked its horn twice. Caleb leaned out, slapped the side of the car door, and grinned. "Get in." Alex stood there, dumbfounded. "When did you buy a car?" he shouted. "Oh my God." Caleb's smile was radiant. "It's your birthday present." It was a Ford Focus. Alex stared at the car, the world suddenly feeling unreal. He asked how much it cost. He didn't even have a driver's license. Where was he supposed to drive it? Caleb pointed a thumb at himself. "The car and the driver, on call 24/7. I can drive. Get in." Alex was almost speechless. Caleb had bought a car. He asked again how much it cost, wondering if his dad had bought it for him. Caleb shook his head, saying he had bought it himself. Alex's expression was one of someone who had just heard the U.S. men's national team had won the World Cup. "When did you become so generous?" he asked. He got into the passenger seat. Caleb explained with a laugh that it was a used car. The car and the license plate had only cost $31,000. Alex was shocked. Only $31,000? He couldn't believe it. His dad's car cost over $600,000. Were cars really this cheap now? It was the first time in his life he had heard of a car being so inexpensive, even for a used one. Caleb's face fell. A serious problem dawned on him. "I didn't realize a Ford Focus would be embarrassing." "If you don't like it." No. Alex quickly clarified. "That's not what I mean. I love it. It's awesome." He wanted to go for a drive right then. He loved it to death. The passenger seat had a custom cover, on which Caleb had drawn a cartoon version of Milk Boy with colored markers. Below it was written Milk Boy's official seat. Alex was at a loss for words. He buckled his seatbelt, feeling like he was in a dream. Caleb started the car. "From now on, this seat is always yours. No more disinfectant spray needed. Let's go." Alex asked how long it had been since he had driven, questioning if he was still any good. Caleb backed out of the spot, merged into traffic, and made a U-turn, grinning. "I practiced a few times the other day. Still got it." Alex asked where he usually parked it. Caleb explained that he parked it in a lot behind his college building, having borrowed an empty spot from his advisor for free. Alex, still feeling like he was dreaming, asked where he had gotten $31,000. Caleb glanced at him, amused. "Actually, I only paid for one of the doors myself. I used some of the money my dad left me to cover the rest. The scholarship was $5,000, his tutoring money was $3,000, and his dad had paid the remaining $23,000. Alex calculated that was enough for 4 doors. "Well, I really like these 4 doors," he said. Caleb told him to study hard for his finals. If he passed everything, they could go on a road trip. "Mr. Milk Boy," he asked, "where would you like to go?" Alex smiled, looking out at the passing scenery. The windows were all down, and a student driver sticker was plastered on the rear window. They drove to a seafood restaurant, the warm summer evening breeze lifting their spirits. What was being in a relationship? Alex felt that he and Caleb had been in one since the day they met. For high schoolers, it was walking to and from school together, buying each other drinks. For college students, it was meeting after class for dinner, buying each other things, studying together in the evenings, and traveling together on breaks. It was comforting the other when they were sad and sharing in their happiness. As for sex, Alex tried not to think about it too much. The images he had seen at Keith's house that day had been too shocking. The thought of 2 men doing that to each other filled him with a vague sense of guilt. Wouldn't it be painful? Another winter break passed. They no longer had to take the bus home. Caleb could drive them anywhere. Alex passed all his classes, and over the break, they took a road trip to Oregon, armed with a laptop, a detailed itinerary, and an expensive wireless data card. They took plenty of pictures in the scenic spots and sent them to David Zhao. Winter turned to spring, and the second semester of their sophomore year was incredibly demanding. They spent every day in the lab. For the summer, Alex had to prepare for the next semester's courses, and Caleb had a metalworking internship, so they didn't go home. They had planned to get a hotel and have David Zhao visit, but he was swamped with work at his company and with the new baby. Alex was with Caleb every day. Neither of them ever talked about finding girlfriends. It was an impossibility. No girl could find a way into their tight-knit world. Some of their classmates had initially suspected Caleb was Alex's boyfriend, but once Alex clarified that he was his cousin, the rumors stopped. No matter how close 2 people were, no one's mind went to incest. He was happy being with Caleb every day, but at night, when he returned to his empty dorm room, a sense of loneliness would creep in. His suite was almost always deserted. Aside from Zeke occasionally stopping by, he was usually alone. He could lock the door, browse gay websites, enter chat rooms, and learn about their lives. He read stories on online forums like one popular serial called 6 Chapters of a Floating Life, which reminded him a bit of his life with Caleb. He silently wished the author and his partner happiness. He didn't know what he was. He got nervous around handsome guys, and when a guy showed interest in him, he felt a secret thrill of happiness. He supposed that made him some form of gay, but he wasn't overly preoccupied with sex. His fantasies were exclusively about Caleb, and even when he was by himself, he didn't dare to imagine things in too much detail. A part of him still hoped that he could become straight one day, get married and have children, just as he and Caleb had always planned. They would buy a big house, and their 2 families would live together peacefully, watching their kids play or fight. He hoped that one day, a girl would come and save him, make him fall in love with her. One late spring night, a group of girls held a candlelight vigil on the lawn below his dorm to commemorate the 1st anniversary of a famous gay actor's death. Alex remembered that a year ago he had been oblivious. He had seen websites turn black with the actor's picture and assumed it was an April Fool's joke, only to realize that the actor had played a cruel joke on the world. Later, he bought a magazine with the actor on the cover, surrounded by roses, his smile devastatingly beautiful. A renowned gay icon had ended his life by jumping from the 24th floor on April Fool's Day. Alex never understood why. The media said it was depression. Was it related to his sexuality? Caleb asked if he had rejected Chloe because he didn't like her. Alex confirmed he didn't. Caleb then asked what kind of girl he did like, mentioning that several girls had expressed interest in him. Alex said he wasn't sure. If he ever met someone he truly liked, he would do whatever it took to marry her. He explained that he hadn't met anyone yet because he just didn't like the girls who had shown interest. Caleb sat beside him in silence on the edge of a flower bed outside the dorm. He suggested that maybe Alex wasn't over his first crush, Milk Girl. He admitted he had been wrong to tell Alex not to date back then. Love was fleeting, and it was hard to find the right person. He regretted his advice. Alex quickly reassured him that he never had strong feelings for her, truly. The dorms were about to close for the night. Several couples were saying their tearful goodbyes on the lawn. Only he and Caleb were two guys sitting side by side, chatting. Caleb said it was time to go to bed and that he would see him tomorrow. Alex smiled and echoed, "See you tomorrow, bro." One day, he asked Caleb why he hated gay people so much, mentioning that there was a gay couple living across the hall from him. Caleb's expression instantly darkened. He told Alex to stay away from them and asked if they had harassed him. Alex explained that they were a couple, so why would they harass him? Secretly, he envied them a little, even though they fought so loudly that the whole floor could hear. Caleb offered to get him moved to another room, that gay people could have AIDS. Alex was utterly speechless. So that was it. The reason he found homosexuality disgusting was because of AIDS. Alex began to seriously educate Caleb on the topic. Homosexuality didn't directly cause AIDS. Promiscuity did. The virus was only transmitted through sex, blood, and from mother to child. Caleb countered that he had heard about a village where one person got AIDS and then everyone else did. Alex almost exploded. Caleb was a science major, yet his knowledge on this subject was so outdated it was worse than a grade schooler's. He explained that it wasn't because of homosexuality. It was because the entire village had been selling blood. The village chief had pooled the blood of people with the same blood type, extracted the valuable components to sell, and then transfused the remaining blood back into everyone. Caleb listened as if hearing a fantastic tale. He knew very little about these things and avoided talking about sex altogether. He insisted that it was still best not to get involved with gay people, something his dad had also said. He mentioned that his father, who had been in the military, detested homosexuality and had encountered some disturbing situations. Alex guessed that something must have happened to Caleb's father when he was younger, something that left a lifelong scar and instilled in him a deep-seated homophobia. Caleb looked at Alex seriously, telling him he must not get involved with those people. He wasn't joking. He needed Alex to remember his words. He asked if any guys had ever confessed their feelings to Alex, given how good-looking he had always been. He warned him not to fall into that trap, calling it a sickness that the world didn't allow. He claimed that nature had created AIDS to regulate it, that it was natural for males and females to be together. Just as eating exotic animals had led to ARS as nature's punishment for humanity. Alex thought to himself that he had underestimated Caleb. He even knew about nature's punishment. Caleb continued, telling him that if any guy ever made a move on him, no matter how good a friend he was, he had to reject him. He told Alex to come to him with any problems he couldn't solve and to stay away from gay people. They didn't need to get involved, but they had to maintain their own integrity, not do drugs, and not get mixed up with those perverted homosexuals. Alex simply agreed. He knew there was no point in arguing that homosexuality was also a form of love. Caleb would never accept it, and Alex couldn't convince him anyway. In Caleb's mind, gay people were probably flamboyant caricatures in leopard print underwear and dark eyeshadow, like the ones seen in pride parades. But one thing had become crystal clear. Caleb didn't love him, but he loved him deeply. All the hugs and physical affection were, in Caleb's eyes, just expressions of brotherly love, like when they were kids, watching the rain under the eaves or sleeping in the same bed. Caleb had never once considered these things in the context of romantic love. Alex was filled with a complex mix of emotions. Over the past 2 years, he had learned a lot about the gay community and their struggles. He wanted to try to make Caleb understand, but Caleb had no interest in learning. A few days later, while they were both at their metalworking internships, Alex texted him, "Bro, do you remember when you said we'd still live together after we both got married?" Caleb replied, "Of course. We'll buy a mansion in the suburbs." Alex texted, "What if you get married and I don't? Would we still live together?" Caleb, "Isn't that obvious?" Alex, "What if I never get married? Will you let me live with you forever? Caleb, you're so great. How could you never get married? Chloe said the line of girls wanting to date you stretches all the way to our campus gates. Don't be silly. Alex, I'm saying what if? What if I never get married? Caleb, there is no what if. What's gotten into you today? The instructor is here. I'm at my internship. We'll talk tonight. Alex, what if my face gets scarred, or I become disabled, or I get some disease that prevents me from getting married? It's possible, right? Like Stephen Hawking. Caleb put his phone away, thought for a moment, then took it out again and sent a reply. Then of course I'll take care of you for the rest of your life. Don't overthink things. It'll be okay. Caleb put his phone away and went back to work on his project, filing a piece of metal into a hammer. The automation and mechanical engineering students were in a combined class. He was helping Chloe with her project first, sweating as he filed. After a short break, he started on his own. A girl from the other class came over and sat on the machine opposite him. Hey Caleb, she said with a smile. I like you. Do you want to go out with me? She added, and can you help me with this too? Her friends from the mechanical design class started catcalling, and the guys from the automation class laughed. Caleb's face turned bright red. You don't have to say that, I'll still help you. Give it here, he said awkwardly. The girl tucked her hair behind her ear and smiled. I really do like you. I saw you and that guy Chloe likes walking on campus, play fighting. I thought you were really cute. Caleb replied, that's my brother, Milk Boy. Do you want to meet him? The girl said, why don't you believe me? Caleb, feeling helpless, rolled up his sleeves and started sanding the girl's hammer handle with sandpaper, automatically classifying her as another girl who wanted to use him to get to Alex. The girl added, my name is Leah. Caleb mumbled an okay and, after finishing, handed it back to her. He then started flipping through the lab manual, measuring his raw materials. Leah smiled. Thanks. Can I treat you to dinner tonight? Caleb replied, my brother is also at his internship, so we're not together these days. I can ask him after the internship is over, but no promises. Leah said, I'm asking you to dinner, not your brother. Caleb was speechless. Leah declared, it's a date then. I'll wait for you after class. After the internship ended for the day, Caleb packed his bag and left by himself. Leah called out after him, hey, Caleb. He was surprised she had actually waited. Leah said, let's go. Dinner. Caleb stammered, I'll pay. Look, I can't promise I'll introduce you to him. Leah got angry. I really like you. I don't want to meet your brother. Caleb's face immediately flushed, and he couldn't look at her. After a moment, he mumbled, Where are we eating? 14 days later, both their internships were over. Caleb was waiting in his car outside the workshop. Alex tossed him a hammer, his internship project, and said, a gift for you. Caleb tossed his own hammer to Alex and said with a smile, a gift for you. They exchanged hammers. Alex tapped his new hammer on various surfaces as they went to dinner. Caleb was replying to a few texts. Alex wasn't in the habit of checking his phone and didn't notice anything unusual. During dinner, Caleb was smiling at his phone. Alex noticed and asked with a frown who he was texting. Caleb rubbed his nose. A girl. Alex studied Caleb's face. Are you dating someone? Caleb said, no, we just get along well. Alex narrowed his eyes. She likes you, doesn't she? Caleb admitted that's what she said, but he didn't really like her in that way yet. Alex said, it's fine. I'm not going to be jealous if you like her. Caleb glanced at Alex and smiled. I really don't like her. We just chat sometimes. Alex nodded. You're so ugly, and yet someone still likes you. He reached for the phone. Let me see what you're talking about. Caleb laughed. Yeah, just one. You're so mean. I always say you're handsome even though you're ugly, and you always call me ugly even though I'm handsome. He looked up. Alex, what's wrong? Alex asked what he meant. Caleb said, Your eyes are really red. Alex, Alex explained that his eyes were sore from doing some welding on a circuit board that afternoon. Caleb asked if he was okay and mentioned that he had bought him some eye drops. Leah had reminded him the day before that Alex's class had an extra welding session that was hard on the eyes, so he should get the eye drops in advance. Alex realized, so that's the girl. Caleb nodded and offered to help. Alex tilted his head back and let him put in the drops, then nonchalantly wiped his nose with a tissue. He asked what she was like and suggested Caleb bring her out for dinner sometime. Caleb smiled. If she has dinner with us, she'll probably end up liking you instead. She did ask about eating together. When are you free? Alex replied that he was free anytime. And so it was settled. Back in his dorm, Alex thought for a long time. The initial shock from dinner had subsided, and he no longer felt overwhelmingly sad. It was like when his father remarried. He had been preparing for it all along. All that was missing was the confirmation. Familial love could never compete with romantic love. Caleb's feelings for him were just that of a brother. Caleb would eventually get married, just like David Zhao. And he couldn't treat Caleb's girlfriend the way he treated Susan. After all, she had done nothing wrong and was genuinely fond of Caleb. If this had happened 2 years ago, Alex might have calmly accepted the situation, packed his bags, and gone off to college by himself. If there was anyone in the world whose choice of wife required Alex's approval, it was David Zhao, and even he had remarried without a second thought. What could possibly stand in the way of love? And Caleb, both logically and emotionally, had no reason not to get married and spend the rest of his life with Alex Zhao. Therefore, Alex had no say in the matter. This wasn't like getting a new stepmother. Whoever Caleb liked, that was who it would be. He was asked for his opinion because they had grown up together and were close, but it would have been perfectly normal for him not to be asked at all. Caleb didn't mention Leah again. She had gone home for the summer break and they only texted occasionally. Alex never looked at his phone. The day before the new semester started, Alex didn't wait for Caleb to pick him up. Instead, he walked to Caleb's university and waited behind the parking lot. Caleb arrived with a girl, laughing and talking. Alex watched from a distance. After the girl left, Caleb came to his car and saw Alex. Alex asked if that was Leah and why he hadn't told him she was there. Caleb was about to call her back, but Alex stopped him, saying he had just finished playing basketball and was in the area. Caleb nodded. He asked Alex if he disliked her. Alex said he hadn't even spoken to her yet, so how could he like or dislike her? He then asked Caleb if he liked her. Caleb didn't answer directly, but smiled and said she was the campus belle of the mechanical engineering department. Alex looked confused. But isn't she the only girl in her department? Caleb was speechless. Alex smiled but said nothing more. Honestly, I don't think she's good enough for you, Alex said. She's not that pretty. Caleb replied, if she's not pretty, then who is? Your standards are too high. He opened the car door. Everyone says it's a case of a beautiful flower on a pile of manure. I'm the manure. Alex retorted angrily, who said that? It's the other way around. Caleb laughed. They all say I'm dark and rough. He turned the steering wheel and changed the subject, driving Alex to dinner. In September, the third year of university began, and Caleb's birthday was approaching. Bro, Caleb said, do you want to meet Leah? Alex replied, sure. Are you inviting her to your birthday dinner? Caleb smiled shyly. Alex watched him in silence. Is that okay? Caleb asked. If you don't like her. A text message alert chimed. Alex glanced at the phone as Caleb picked it up and tapped out a reply. He didn't send it. She's been wanting to meet you, he said. How about this? You can help me size her up. If you hate her, I'll keep my distance. I'm worried you won't like her. It's not a big deal, really. It's not like I have to have a girlfriend right now. Alex was silent. Caleb continued, Alex, let me be completely honest with you. If you don't like her, then we'll just forget about it. I don't want to fight with you over her. You'll always be the most important person to me. I'm not good with words, but you know what I mean. Alex's eyes welled up. He smiled at Caleb and reached out to pat his head. Caleb looked confused. Alex said, I told you it's okay. Don't overthink it. I'm not a monster. Caleb studied Alex's face carefully. Alex insisted, I'm not mad. Really, I'm not. Caleb nodded. Okay, I'll go get us some food. We'll talk more in a few days. After Caleb left, Alex picked up his phone and read his text exchange with Leah. It was the same old phone Caleb had been using for over 5 years. Leah, no problem. Who else is in your family? Bring them all. I was an only child, but I always wanted a little brother. I know how close you two are. My heart is big enough. I'm not petty. If I can say it, I can love you, and I'll love your family too. I'll treat your brother like my own. Don't worry. Alex scrolled back and read some of the messages Caleb had sent. Caleb, Leah, I need to talk to you about my brother. I'm worried you won't like him. He can be a bit sensitive. We've been through everything together since we were kids, and I promised him that we'd live together even after I get married. If you dislike him even a little bit, I don't think this will work. I'll only introduce you to him if you're truly willing to accept him. He's the only family I have in this world. He's very important to me. Caleb, I will accept your parents and treat them like my own. I hope you will treat my brother like your brother too. Alex put the phone down and stared into space for a long time. He was destined to lose. It didn't matter who the girl was. He had no choice but to accept her. This was the only path. Realizing that some things cannot be changed and must be accepted is often a sign of growing up. Alex didn't want to grow up, at least not right now, but he had to learn to accept that one day he would be alone. Alex prepared a birthday present for Caleb. On the day of his birthday, they went to a barbecue restaurant downtown. Leah arrived, smiling brightly. I've heard so much about you, Milk Boy, she said. You're a legend, one of the top 10 most influential figures at the university. Alex smiled. Is that a thing? Leah insisted it was. She asked if the smoothie shop had asked him to come back to work. She had gone there recently and many people were asking about him. Alex said they had, but he was too busy with his third-year classes. Leah laughed. Your brother talks about you constantly. Every time I see him, he mentions you within 3 sentences. Why didn't you set me up with someone when I came to get a smoothie last summer? Alex was taken aback. You came by? Leah confirmed she had, wearing pigtails at the time. Alex exclaimed in recognition. Leah laughed. You probably forgot. It's okay, just give me a discount next time. Alex chuckled, of course. Caleb, having parked the car, came and sat next to Alex. Alex said, wrong seat. Get over to the other side. Leah burst out laughing. Caleb said it was fine, he could sit there. Alex playfully kicked him toward the opposite side of the table, telling him to move. Caleb went and sat next to Leah, leaning over the table to tie his shoes under it. He asked what they were talking about. Leah gave a sly smile. We were talking about how to celebrate Alex's birthday. Alex smiled but didn't say anything. Caleb said, why not talk about how to celebrate mine? You're celebrating it right now, Leah and Alex said in unison. Caleb shook his head. I can't win with you two. Now it's 2 against 1. He called for the menu. Leah handed 2 paper bags, one to Caleb and one to Alex. A birthday present for you, Caleb, she said, and one for you too, Alex. Alex asked what it was. Caleb opened his and found a plaid shirt. Alex's was the same. Alex thanked her profusely, saying he hadn't gotten her anything. Leah smiled. Don't say that. The first time I saw you two outside the engineering building, Alex was wearing this brand. My cousin has one too. Seems like all you guys like this brand. Caleb grumbled, so you were only looking at him. Leah replied, of course. Alex is too dazzling. You guys order. Caleb said, Alex, you order. Alex said, you order. After some back and forth, Leah ended up ordering. The dishes that arrived were all of Alex's favorites. He disliked lamb, and she hadn't ordered any. The chicken wings and meatballs were exactly what he would have chosen. The meal was pleasant. Leah clearly liked Alex, and her questions were always directed at him, barely mentioning Caleb. Alex endlessly teased Caleb, and Leah just listened with a smile, never joining in. Alex started to wonder if she would switch her affections to him by the end of the night. When Caleb went to the restroom, Leah asked, "Are you planning to prank him today? Do you need my help?" Alex smiled. "No need, but I will prank him. I do it every year on his birthday." After the meal, Alex presented a box. "Bro, this is for you. You two go on ahead." Caleb looked at the box. Alex said, "You can open it whenever you want, but it's best to open it as soon as you get downstairs. I'll get home on my own. You two go for a walk." Caleb insisted on taking him home. Alex said, "No, you'll understand when you open the box. I'm leaving." He walked backward, saying, "Open it after I'm gone. Remember." Caleb called after him, but Leah stopped him. "Listen to him. Let's see what it is first." Alex ran off. Caleb, bewildered, opened the box. Leah burst out laughing. Inside was a hotel room keycard and a box of condoms. Alex leaned against a pole on the subway platform, staring at the yellow lights. The next morning, he received a text from Caleb. "Bro, thanks for the birthday present. But don't do that again next time. We're not at that stage yet." She blew up all the condoms like balloons. Alex turned off his phone when he woke up that morning. He began to focus on his specialized major courses, subjects that Caleb knew nothing about. Caleb was no longer the all-knowing tutor. He couldn't help with these classes. Their third-year workloads were heavy and difficult, and they both had their own lab experiments. Caleb could only remind him not to skip class. Alex had to rely on himself. He struggled. He had no talent for communications engineering or for science in general, and he didn't enjoy the subject. But he had to try his best not to fail. He knew even less about Caleb's automation major. They studied separately, but every day Caleb had free, he would come find Alex for meals. If Caleb had a night class, Leah would come find Alex, sitting with him in his classroom, taking notes for him, chatting, bringing him small gifts, and keeping him company for dinner. His classmates all assumed Leah was his girlfriend from another school. Alex would introduce her with a smile as "my sister." He could see that Leah was trying hard to become a part of his life, but he couldn't stand it. He didn't want too much contact with her. Her warmth and kindness made it almost impossible to refuse her. One day in October, he caught a cold but didn't tell anyone. He skipped class and slept in his dorm all day. When Leah came looking for him and found he wasn't in class, she called him and brought him medicine. That night, Caleb also came by and checked his forehead for a fever. After the cold subsided, Alex was left with a lingering cough. Leah made a home remedy of pear and rock sugar soup in her own dorm and brought it to him. Alex felt like he was dying. He didn't know what to do. He couldn't even hate her. He wished Leah were more like Susan. At least then he would have an imaginary enemy. His love for Caleb and his hatred for Caleb's relationship both turned inward, accumulating in his heart with no outlet. He felt like he was going to go crazy one day. He decided that after graduation, he would move to a different city, find a job, and start over. But until then, Caleb would still come to see him, sometimes with Leah, acting just as they always had. This left Alex with no opportunity to even voice his frustration. He told Caleb to spend more time with Leah, that it wasn't fair to her for him to always be with Alex. Caleb smiled. "She has class. She told me to come have dinner with you. Her schedule is packed this semester." Alex replied, "So is mine." Caleb paused. "Alex, are you unhappy?" Alex denied it, saying he had just been yelled at by a professor during a lab experiment. Caleb suggested hiring a senior student to tutor him. Alex quickly refused, showing him his lab notebook and insisting that he was doing great, that his was the best in the class that day. Caleb was confused. "If you did the best, why did you get yelled at?" Alex paused, then admitted, "Because I was half an hour late." Caleb didn't know whether to laugh or cry. "You've been like this since you were a kid." Alex was still coughing a little after his cold, his face pale, his hair grown long. He didn't want to see Caleb anymore. He wanted to tell him to just leave him alone. He had to find a reason to refuse Caleb's concern, or he would drive himself mad. A few days later, in the library, Alex approached a cute younger girl. "Penny," he said, "can you do me a favor?" Penny was surprised. "How do you know my name?" Alex paused. "I need someone to pretend to be my girlfriend. Is that okay with you?" Penny looked at him strangely, then nodded. She was a year older than him. A few days later, Alex brought Penny along to dinner with Caleb and Leah. He and Caleb sat in the front, while Leah and Penny chatted in the back. The four of them talked and laughed. Alex didn't specify who Penny was to him, and Caleb didn't ask. After that, their relationship was considered established. Penny held the gift Leah had given her. "What should I do with this?" Alex opened it. It was a pair of matching scarves. "You keep it," he said. "A small gift from my sister-in-law." Penny said, "Milk boy, does your brother want you to be in a relationship?" Alex shook his head. "I'm the one who wants my brother to be in a relationship." Penny's pretty eyebrows furrowed. Alex smiled. "Don't frown so much, you'll get wrinkles. No matter how you feel on the inside, you have to act happy on the outside." He gently smoothed her brow like a gentleman. "Good night." For the next week, whenever Caleb or Leah came to find him for a meal, he brought Penny along. He gradually started texting Caleb or Leah, saying he had to study with Penny or go on a date with her, telling them not to come find him in the evenings. Caleb finally started coming around less. Alex had achieved his goal and breathed a sigh of relief. In November, as the weather turned colder, Alex sat on a bench and texted Caleb, "Bro, I want to spend my birthday with my girlfriend this year." Caleb replied, "Alex, are you going to ditch your brother just because you have a girlfriend?" Alex stared at his phone, thinking he needed a new one. It had been so many years. He still remembered how Caleb had cried with gratitude when his father had bought them their first phones. He didn't reply to the text. Penny came out of her classroom. Alex called out to her. A group of girls teased her. Penny shooed them away with a laugh and came over. "Are we acting again today?" Alex asked worriedly, "Do they all know you're in a relationship? I hope this isn't preventing you from finding a real boyfriend." Penny smiled. "It's fine. I'm happy to get a free meal. I told them you're my adopted little brother. I'm not exactly a beauty. No one's interested in me. Let's go." Alex said, "If you meet someone, you have to tell me. I'll treat him to dinner and explain everything. I don't want to mess things up for you." Penny linked her arm through his. "It's okay, you're overthinking it. They all see you as a little brother. They even ate the snacks you bought for me last time. Are we acting today?" Alex said, "No acting. Let me just treat you to dinner." They ate in the cafeteria. Penny whispered, "Milk boy, I want to ask you something." Alex asked what it was. Penny said, "You like guys, don't you? Am I right?" Alex was silent. Penny smiled. "You don't have to answer if you don't want to." Alex nodded. "Please keep it a secret." Penny said, "It's okay." She reached out and patted his head, pretending not to know anything. After dinner, Alex went back to his dorm and continued to study. His 20th birthday was almost over. At 10 o'clock, the dormitory doors were locked. He was alone in his room. Even Specs hadn't come back. Alex was relieved, knowing that Caleb wouldn't be coming. At 11, his phone rang. Caleb flashed on the screen. Alex answered. Caleb asked where he was. Alex lied, "With my girlfriend. I'm not coming back tonight." Caleb laughed. "You're lying. Your girlfriend is in her dorm. I just called her room." Alex said, "So what if I'm lying?" Caleb laughed again. "Nothing. I just want to give you a birthday present. Do you want it?" Alex said the dorms were already locked, so it would have to be tomorrow. He could hear the smile in Caleb's voice, could almost see his charming grin. "Alex Zhao." Caleb's voice was louder now, coming from both the phone and from outside his window. "Come out to the balcony. Happy birthday." Alex was stunned. He got up and went out onto the balcony. A lone figure stood on the path below. "Bro," Caleb said, his voice soft on the phone as he stood under the street lamp like a romantic magician, a box at his feet. "You're 20 this year. You're all grown up. I don't know how much longer I can be with you. I hope it's for the lifetime we promised. When you're not with your girlfriend, spend some time with me too. I always miss you." He lit the fuse with a cigarette. A series of fireworks shot up to the third floor, exploding in the night sky in brilliant bursts of purple, blue, red, and orange. Alex's eyes reflected the changing, dazzling colors of the fireworks. He was speechless for a long time. One after another, the fireworks soared and bloomed, their light flashing. Caleb captured the moment with his phone's camera, preserving the memory. Alex watched in silence until the 20 fireworks were finished, and the world returned to darkness. Caleb whispered go and, with a smile, turned to leave. Leah emerged from the shadows of a tree and took his hand. They swung their joined hands playfully and walked away. Alex watched them go, leaning against the balcony wall. He gasped for air in the darkness, silently releasing his tears, as if trying to exorcise something from his soul, to make it leave and never return. But it was always there, always would be, no matter how hard he tried to drive it out. During the spring break of 2005, they went home together, and Caleb brought Leah with him. David Zhao treated them all to a meal. This time, Susan was there. Leah was cheerful and could talk to anyone, maintaining a polite but not overly familiar distance with Susan. Everyone at the table was happy, except for Alex. He found the whole scene ridiculous. Everyone was being fake, each with their own thoughts, forced together for the sake of appearances. How could they not feel uncomfortable? Humans were such hypocritical animals. Logically, Alex knew he should be smiling and participating in the conversation, talking about current events, the future, and life. Everyone else was pretending. He should at least pretend for his father's sake, instead of sitting in the corner with a funereal expression, ruining the beautiful family reunion. He supposed his father deserved it. He knew bringing him would make things awkward, but he couldn't not invite him. As he thought about it, he started to laugh. David Zhao asked what his sweetheart was laughing at. Alex said it was nothing, he was just amusing himself. His father then asked about his girlfriend, wondering why he hadn't brought her home. Alex said she had a family matter to attend to and he would bring her during the summer. David Zhao told Leah not to worry about finding a job. If she wanted to work in San Francisco after graduation, he would help her. Leah smiled and said she had to discuss it with her parents first, as she was their only daughter, but thanked him for the offer. Alex quickly ate a few bites of food, then took out a book and started reading, having said less than 5 sentences throughout the entire meal. His presence was awkward and out of place. The other 4 would probably have had a much better time without him. Leah leaned over and asked softly what he was reading. He mumbled the title, a collection of illustrated stories. He then announced he was full and was going to leave, telling them to enjoy their meal. Caleb and David Zhao were both taken aback. David Zhao said he would get the check so they could all go home and rest. He suggested that Caleb take Leah to see the sights in a few days. As his father went to pay, and Caleb went to get the car, Leah packed up their things and exchanged a few more pleasantries with Susan. She then put on her scarf and linked her arm through Alex's. They went downstairs and stood in the cold wind. David Zhao had also gone to get his car. Susan stood on the other side of the steps, staring out at the bustling city lights. Alex whispered to Leah, asking what she thought Susan was thinking. Leah smiled. "Don't try to guess what a woman is thinking." Alex whispered that Susan must hate him even more now, for ruining the dinner. Leah, exasperated, asked if he felt a sense of accomplishment. "Bro, sometimes I really don't know what to do with you," she said. Alex said they could have continued eating. There was no need for them to leave. Leah said she had some difficult relatives too, and she never wanted to talk to them at family gatherings either, but she would never dare to do what he had just done. Alex said that was because she was mature and he wasn't. They were all adults and he was still a child. He was sure his father was probably thinking that he would never grow up. Leah smiled but didn't say anything. The Ford Focus pulled up. Alex whispered to her to sit in the front. Leah said it didn't matter, but Alex insisted, explaining that otherwise Susan would have something to say about it later. Leah nodded and got into the passenger seat. Alex sat in the back. Caleb turned around to say something to Alex, but his eyes met Leah's innocent gaze instead. Alex and Leah burst out laughing. Caleb, momentarily confused, was urged by Alex to just drive them home. That night, Caleb dropped Alex off at home first, then took Leah to her hotel. Alex assumed Caleb wouldn't be coming back, so he took a shower and lay on the sofa to read. Leah wasn't staying in town for the holidays. She was leaving in a few days to go to her own family's home. It would likely be just Alex and Caleb for the holidays again. Alex had even been thinking of a way to send Caleb to Leah's family for the break. At 11:30, Caleb came home. Alex said he thought he wouldn't be back. Caleb said he had come back to sleep. Alex asked if he hadn't slept with her. Caleb shook his head, not saying anything. He seemed to be in a bad mood. Alex asked what was wrong, if they had fought again. Caleb denied it, but they had definitely fought. Alex knew they did sometimes. He had witnessed it at least 3 times. Sometimes they would come to see him, not speaking to each other, with Leah talking to him and ignoring Caleb. Other times, Leah would suddenly show up to hang out with him, and he would only realize they had fought when Caleb started frantically texting him, looking for her. Once, Caleb had even asked him for advice, saying Leah was mad at him and wouldn't listen to his apologies, and asking how Alex calmed Penny down when she was angry. But no matter how much they fought, Leah never said a bad word about Caleb in front of him, nor did she ever drag him into their arguments. And Alex never asked, staying out of their relationship problems. Alex was easy to appease. As long as he felt the other person was sincerely sorry, he would usually forgive them. But Leah was different. She believed that fighting put her in a bad mood, and she needed to do something enjoyable to feel better. They would talk things out once her mood improved. As for why they fought, Alex didn't know. He assumed it was for different reasons each time. That night, Leah didn't call to see if Caleb had gotten home, and Caleb didn't call her. Alex sensed it was serious and mentioned it to Caleb, but Caleb told him not to worry about it, that he couldn't always let her have her way. He smoked a cigarette and went to bed. The next morning, he drove Leah to the airport and was back in less than half an hour. Alex was still sleeping. He heard the noise outside and came out, groggy, to see Caleb sitting at the table, looking dejected. He asked if she had left on her own. Caleb confirmed she had. Alex thought, serves you right. Why get into a relationship just to get your feelings hurt? Seeing Caleb upset after a fight gave Alex a small, guilty pleasure. But as he tossed and turned in bed, he felt a pang of guilt. He called Leah. She told him she was on her way home and would bring him back some treats from her hometown. Him not to tell Caleb, who wouldn't be getting any. Alex told her not to fight, that his brother was a good person and was sitting in the living room crying. Leah scoffed, saying of course he would think Caleb was perfect, that his brother's bad temper was his fault for spoiling him. She doubted Caleb would ever cry. Alex laughed and said that Caleb really cared about her, and asked why she was angry. Leah said caring was one thing, but words without actions were meaningless. She said she was about to board the plane and would talk to him later. Alex hung up and went to ask Caleb what was wrong, but Caleb wouldn't say, so he dropped it. He secretly hoped that Caleb and Leah would break up, but the thought was so awful that he wanted to slap himself. Leah had been so good to him. How could he wish for them to break up? Caleb was in a bad mood for the entire winter break and didn't call Leah. Alex, while browsing online, bought a gift for Leah and had the seller include a note. "Don't be mad. I love you." The gift was a battery-operated toy monkey that banged on a drum. It was exactly Caleb's style. Alex figured that when Leah turned it on and the monkey started clattering around, she would probably stop being angry. He told Caleb what he had done. Caleb didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He looked at a picture of the toy, and on the day Leah confirmed she had received it, he called her. And just like that, they made up. Alex thought he was such a fool, a miserable, pathetic fool. The year 2005 arrived. Penny moved to another campus, and Alex went to his classes alone. He ate alone and he studied alone. After the last final of the summer, as the cicadas began their song and conversations shifted from classes and fun to internships and jobs, their senior year was upon them. Nearly half of his classmates found summer internships. Alex's grades were average, so the internships recommended by the professors didn't come his way, and he didn't ask. Caleb went to an auto assembly plant for his internship, and Leah went to a Japanese company. Alex passed his advanced English proficiency exam, sent Caleb a text, and packed his things to go home. The house was, as always, immaculate, the floors spotless. Alex stayed at home for a few days, then took a local bus and rode around aimlessly. He got off at his old high school, wanting to see his alma mater, but it had changed drastically. The new gate was grand and imposing. The track had been replaced. The basketball courts were covered in a new rubber surface that was still protected by plastic sheeting. And all the buildings had been repainted and fitted with new windows. He stood outside the fence, looking in. This was not the school he remembered. All the memories were gone. He went to the juice bar across the street. The girl behind the counter was the same one from 5 years ago, though she had lost her youthful bloom. He walked down the street, sipping his drink, and went into a supermarket near a residential complex to buy some instant noodles and snacks. As he pushed his cart down an aisle, he saw a man also pushing a cart, with a small child sitting in the seat. The child was fair-skinned and cute, his little arms and legs dangling out as he pointed at the colorful candies on the shelf, asking his dad to buy them. David Zhao asked when he had gotten back, saying he thought he was still taking exams. Alex, looking at the child, said he had finished a while ago but hadn't told him. "Is this your son?" he asked. David Zhao told the boy to say hello, brother. The child greeted him, and Alex smiled and pinched his cheek. He had an urge to squeeze a little harder, but he stopped himself. It wasn't the child's fault. David Zhao bought his young son a bag of colorful lollipops and bought one for Alex too. "Did you break up?" he asked, commenting on Alex's grim expression. Alex confirmed he had. His father asked if he was going to find another girlfriend, mentioning that a friend of his was eager to set him up with his daughter. Alex asked if she was pretty, adding that he didn't want someone too pretty. His father said she wasn't stunning, but she was well-read and had a good temperament. Alex replied, "Not pretty? Then I definitely don't want her." His father was speechless. Alex laughed. "I don't want to get married anymore." His father was shocked. "You don't want to get married? When will I get to hold my grandchildren?" Alex retorted, "You have no right to say that. Let him get married," he said, gesturing to his little half-brother. "You'll be in your 60s by the time you have grandchildren from him. That's not too late." His father dismissed his words. "You're still young. When you're older, you'll want to get married." Alex said, "Yes, I'll never grow up. Let's change the subject. I don't want to start a fight and scare him. Little kids are fragile. It could leave a lasting impression." His father launched into a lecture about Confucianism, explaining that the character for benevolence is made up of two-person radicals, representing the importance of human relationships. He said that Alex was still seen as a child because he hadn't married and started his own family, which was a necessary step to becoming an independent adult. Only then could parents feel at ease. Alex, while grabbing a can of food from the shelf, cut him off. To hell with Confucianism. To hell with moderation, self-discipline, and finding the middle way. If you don't want to change the subject, I'm leaving. His father switched topics, asking how his nephew and his girlfriend were doing. Alex said they were fine, he supposed. Caleb hadn't said much about her. He added that his sister-in-law was a nice person. His father smiled. "So you're already calling her that?" The two of them pushed their carts past the soda aisle. Alex said, "Let's try another topic. How have you been lately?" His father said he was doing okay. Alex asked if that woman had stolen his company yet. His father laughed and said she hadn't, but he had lost some money in the stock market. Alex asked how much. His father said it wasn't much. Alex asked if the market had bottomed out. His father, after a moment of thought, said that on June 6th, the stock market had hit an all-time low of 998 points. Alex asked if he had sold. His father said he had sold some of his shares. Alex smiled. After a moment, he said, "See, I was right.
Extremes reverse, yin turns to yang."
Reversal is the movement of the Tao. Even Confucius had to respectfully consult Laozi. Why do you trust the student instead of the master? His father just smiled, not arguing with him. They continued their shopping in silence.